Hey, this is Steven from LegitTechTutorials, and welcome to Beginning C tutorial number 8. We are going to be going over arrays. And first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do some cleanup here. So what we're going to do here is go ahead and grab all of this stuff here, cut it, and then go to the source files on the right again, and I'll have that in there in the video, and hit New Item, and then add another C++ file. Change this guy. Let me bring this over there so you guys could see it, so I crop the rest out. Call it grade. So call it grade.c and add that file. In grade.c, go back into test. Actually, go into grade here, paste that, and we're going to need to put the main around it. This stuff here, so we're going to copy that guy, indent it, put that guy there, and then close the brackets, and then it'll automatically indent it. You saw there. And then let's go back to the test and let's mess around. So here you see the two are at the top now, to where you can swap back and forth through them. Alright, let's go ahead and get started with some arrays. So what is an array? If you did Java, you obviously know what array is, but let me go ahead and talk about what an array is. Array is basically a container, or people call it a bucket. Some people that do tutorials call it a bucket, where you could throw different stuff inside of it. So in this case, we could throw multiple different array values into a large package, container, bucket, whatever you want to call it. So for example, let's say that we have, a deck of cards for blackjack. There's 52 cards. So you would have an array of 52, and then you would have, maybe even and it would have what the suit is and the name of the card or whatever. So we could have that. Most of the time what you have is when you're pulling something in from a user and you want to store it in an array. So they say I got an A, a B, a C, a D, so you're adding those characters into an array. So now that something like the grade C would store all that stuff inside of an array. Actually, that might be a good thing to, maybe I'll have that next tutorial where we'll implement it, adding it into an array, so that we could do all the computation at the end. Add them all in at the beginning, and then do the computation at the end, make things a little more cleaner and a little cooler, I guess. Or I'll do something else. I don't know. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is you want to create the array. Now, the array is pretty easy to create. So first, of course, you have the type of variable it is. So what do you want to store inside of it? You want to store a character. You want to store an int. You want to store a float. You want to store a double, right? So we have a int, so we're gonna, and then you call it the identifier, which we call it, for example, if you had a Cartesian coordinate system, which is, the x and y coordinate system, you'd have an x and a y array, with points, right? So we're just gonna call this x, and then you have a bracket. Now, very, very important, inside the bracket, you're gonna tell the array how many numbers you want to store inside of this. So we're going to store 10. Oops. So we're going to store 10 integers in there. And now this is usually when you see a for loop. So now what we're going to do is we're going to store numbers inside that array, and I'm going to show you how to count through them using an index and how to print them out. So let's say for I actually we're gonna add stuff to the array. So what we could do here is we could either do this and do the for loop, or we could add it in explicitly by doing this, and you hit equals. Let's indent this out. So there you go. Now you could add whatever you want in there. So let's say I'm going to add a 5, a 6, an 8, a 10, a 12, 18, 50, 60. How many I got? So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then close the brackets. There we go. And then close. There you go. So now it's very easy to read how I indented it out there and closed it here at the very end. I mean, you could technically pull this guy over here. It's a little easier to read. But, so now when you go build solution. Okay, so let's go ahead and drop the grade out. I'm going to create a new folder called old files, and this side, and we're going to plop grade into old files. Okay, so now when we build it, it should okay, so I'm just going to exclude that from project. Something very important, I guess, to say is that you can't have two mains in there, but we want this inside of a main. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this guy, and as you see, it builds with no problem. Now, if we add one more number, that will give us 11, and boom, it explodes in your face. So do not put more than you allow in this number here. Yeah. So let's go ahead and do this here, and that's how you would add it explicitly. Now let's go ahead and go backwards and get rid of this, and I'm going to go back here and delete that folder because I don't need it. Okay, now we're going to do a for loop to add that number in. So, like we said earlier, we're going to have I for the index, and then we're going to say as for whenever I is less than 10, I plus plus, oops. Okay. All right, so we got that, and now what we're going to do is we're going to jump into X. And how do you add these? So what you do is you basically tell it inside, okay, I want to look for I. So the first time I is 0, so it's going to pull this. So now how do I set it? You set it just like any other variable, and you just do equals. But in this case, you know, you could have it scan it or whatever. So you could do scan underscore. Oops. You could do scan underscore s. Percentage I, oops, and then have the @ symbol, int what we're, oops, put, let's just call it put, whatever, and then we're going to have that equal to 0, and then we're going to say @ put. Close that. So now we're going to set this equal to put. So now every time it does that, it's going to ask us to put that in there. Wow, was it scan underscore s? I don't know. They changed it on me. So I don't know. Why won't it let me do scan F no more? Wish I could do scan F. But it's going to tell me it is. Okay, it's scan F underscore S. Sorry about that. I was trying to figure that out for a second. Okay. So So now we're gonna debug that. It's not prompting me, so that's why you need to prompt the user. So let's say 8, 6, 5, 7, 8, 9, and we're gonna intentionally go over. Well, it won't allow you to go over because the counter is protecting it because it's up to 10. So our counter is protecting that. Now let's do a printf function. Number just added. Number just added. Added. And then we're gonna have a percentage sign, and then we're gonna have space percentage sign. And we're gonna have and then we're gonna have x I. And there you go. So every time that guy prints out, then you're gonna have that. And yeah. So now, crap. So now we got 1, 2. Oh, I forgot to put a /n. Okay, 1, 2, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 61. And then let me show you how you could read an array. So you would do basically the same thing. So let me copy it. This is how you would read an array. You do the exact same thing, except for, let me do what my book says here. My book has a pretty cool little format where it tells you the element number, which is the counter inside the index, and it'll tell you the value. So you guys will enjoy this. So it's percentage 7 percentage. So that percentage 7 is formatting it to 7 decimal places, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's what it's doing. Oh. It wants us to do this thing outside really quick. So you go this guy, then you go percentage S, percentage 13, S, N, comma, element, comma, comma, value, comma, in that. So %7D, %13D, /n, comma, I, comma, xi. End. So let's go ahead and build this. See if I made it. Nope. Okay, so now let's add everything in there. So let's say 1, 6. And of course, if you add an invalid character, it will fail. Very bad. So I entered in a J. So we have 8, 9, or 0. Sorry, 9, 5, 4, 3, 7, 1. So there you go. Int values, so the index at value 0 is 8, index at value 1 is 0, index at 2 is 9, 3 is 5, 4 is... So very important thing to add is that an array index starts at 0 because it's something in computer land, 0 and 1, binary operation. An array starts at 0 by convention, so if you have 10... If you have a size array of 10, like we do for our x, that means it's 0 through 9. That's 10 numbers, right? 0 being one of those numbers. So 0 is 1, and then 9 of those standard digits, so that's 10. So that's why you see element here at 0. That's a standard practice. Every language is like that. Maybe one of the other languages I haven't seen yet or haven't studied yet has it to where it starts off at 1. I think Visual Basic or something I've heard starts at 1. But this guy, Java, C++, C#, JavaScript, I think even JavaScript even starts at 0. But yeah, so all of them start at 0. As you see here, just like I said, it goes 0 through 9, and that's 10 numbers. And here we have the value. So that's how you output it. You do the same exact loop, except for you're printing it out, and you go right back through the array again. So this is inserting it in, and this is outputting it. And then you saw how we explicitly add it. How you explicitly add it again is you have an equal sign, and then you have an open bracket and a closed bracket, and then you put the numbers with commas in between, and there you go, you could add it. But you could do all different kinds of different types of arrays. So let's say char y, and then you could do the same thing, and then you could have brackets, an equal sign, and enter in chars, which would be kind of cumbersome to enter in explicitly. But yeah. So that's basics of arrays. We will definitely be doing quite a bit of practice with this. Probably even next tutorial have a practice with this, implementing it with that grades. And yeah, so this has been Steven from LegitTechTutorials. Thank you for watching my beginning C tutorial on arrays. And if you like this video, please subscribe for more videos like it. And I will see you the next tutorial. And we'll probably be messing around with arrays and learning more about them, and maybe doing some more practice. Alright, so I will see you then. And if you like this video, subscribe for more videos in this series and other series like it. If you have any questions, email me, and I will see you next video. Take it easy.